Why are social media different from older forms of media? There have been many major developments in the past that have formed the way the media is today. The printing press in the 1450s, photography in the 1830s, cinema in 1894, radio in 1897, television in the 1920s, internet in the 1960s, and the World Wide Web in 1990. Before social media, the main sources of media were print, broadcast television, and radio. People would have to wait until allocated times on the television or until the next newspaper to find out the most recent news before social media. One example of how older forms of media used to dominate is broadcast television on the day of the 9/11. All major networks were live with footage of the World Trade Center by 8:52 a.m. This is minutes after the first plane hit the North Tower. It was one of the most iconic moments on broadcast television, and so many people were tuned in to watch this event. However, social media has changed the way we receive news completely. In 2015, the Paris attacks had a completely different outbreak within media platforms. This event was mainly spread through social media. Facebook had a mark yourself safe button so older people involved could let their loved ones know that they were okay. Facebook also allowed users to change their profile pictures to the French flag to show support for Paris. On Twitter there was various hashtags, including hashtag Pray for Paris, to help people that were stuck in the city without shelter to find somewhere safe and support the people of Paris. To understand the differences between social media and older media, we need to look at the developments of the World Wide Web. In 1961 there was the first email. The first distance communication was in 1969. AOL then launched in 1985, followed by the World Wide Web and Mosaic in 1993. Yahoo launched in 1994. Then Google in 1998. Friends Reunited was one of the first social media sites to be released in 1999. Wikipedia followed this in 2001, and then Facebook was released to college students in 2004. One development that has massively contributed to the growth of social media is technology, such as mobile phones and tablets. The smartphone in your pocket provides a better communication tool than the President of the United States had access to just 25 years ago, and provides access to more data than he had access to just 10 years ago. In a short space of time, phones have developed from devices used to communicate with other people to devices that people can now use to text, make calls, listen to music, play games, take photos, use the internet, download apps, and so on. The Apple iPhone is a perfect example of this. 73% of people would panic if they lost their smartphones. Because of technological developments, media industries and platforms have had to adapt themselves to stay current. For example, newspapers can no longer rely on people to go buy their newspapers, as they can now access this through social media. Newspapers now have downloadable apps on smartphones and tablets so that their audiences can access them easily. Most newspapers now have social media pages on both Facebook and Twitter, therefore they can deliver the most recent news topics straight to their audiences via their Facebook and Twitter feeds.